Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Samantha. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a comparison review, and the comparison review today are two brands. The first one is Huda Beauty, and I used the the Mauve Obsession palette. This retails for £25 from Cult Beauty, so that's where you can pick that one up. Then I used a combination of these two palettes. They are the Makeup Revolution Newtrals 2 and Iconic Fever palettes, and these retail for £4 each. So a total of £8. So if you purchase these two rather than this one, you are then saving £17. So what I'm going to do today is go through what I use, what shades I used, what I think about both of the products, and I think also when you apply, I mean, you don't do it very often unless obviously you do YouTube videos, but you generally don't put two different brands on each eye, and I look for a certain thing within eyeshadows, and I've mentioned it before on my channel, so you may or may not have, you know, if you're a regular viewer, you may already know what I'm going to say, but yeah, I really do look for something specific within an eyeshadow palette because I have slightly hooded eyes. That's what I've looked at with these, and I must say it's not until you put a different brand on, you know, one eye and another brand on another eye, that it really highlights perhaps how good one is and how perhaps not quite so good the other one is. Now what I've done today is I've applied a palette or palettes on one eye and a palette on another eye, and to compare them I've also got swatches on my arms using the you know, shades or swatching the shades that I've used in the eye looks today. And yeah, I really like this look. I think it complements my eye colour. I really like this kind of look, and I can achieve it with other brands, but I did have a question from one of my viewers asking if there was a dupe within the Makeup Revolution collection, and with the shadows that they brought out initially, I thought it would have been Makeup Obsession and their single shadows. And initially I thought yes, it would be them, but actually there wasn't a matte shade that you know, looked similar to the shadows that I've used today, or you know, from the Huda collection. So in the Obsession range there are, you know, colours, especially the ones on my lids, that you can find in the Obsession range, but I'm going to now show you round the palettes that I've used. So Huda Beauty, it's the Mauve Obsession palette. Like I said, this retails for £25. You're getting 9 pans in here, and I have used this now 2 or 3 times, and yeah, really like the colour or colours that it gives me, because this is the kind of, or these are the kind of colours that I love to wear. They're warm, they're pink, you know, it's just what I like, burgundies, that kind of thing. So when Makeup Revolution brought out these two palettes, so I'll show you the Newtrals 2 first of all, especially the Newtrals 2, I knew I had to get it because again, you know, they're warm, they're pink in toned, they're absolutely beautiful, gorgeous range of shades in here, and it's only £4. So I mean, really, you can't really go wrong. Then with the Iconic Fever, similar kind of thing, but rather than pinks, you've got browns and coppers and you know, like a yellowy orange there. Just another beautiful palette, and when I went into Superdrug I thought, wow, I'm not going to get it because it looked like it had sold out already, but luckily enough they'd stocked it in 2 places, so I really was so excited to actually find this in the store as well, because I just love the colours in this. I love the colours in the Neutral as well, and I love the colour range in the Huda. You know, I really love that. With the Makeup Revolution, you're actually getting 3, 6, 9, 15 pans of product, and they are large pans for the for the £4 that you're paying. With the Huda Beauty, and I know that, you know, this palette looks so tiny, but actually the pan sizes are regular pan sizes. It's just, you know, that it's been put, or these pans have been put into a smaller palette. So that is, you know, looking around the palettes, you know, closely where you can purchase them from. I mean, you can purchase the Makeup Revolution palettes from Tan Beauty. You can also pick them up from Superdrug as well, and I will have all the links down below for you. So what I did today was I put Makeup Revolution on this eye and I put the Huda Beauty on this eye. And what I also did is the shades that I'm going to share with you, I did them exactly the same. I used my famous Primark brushes, 2 separate brushes so the colours wouldn't get mixed, and I also did 1 shade at a time, so I was doing exactly the same thing with that 1 shade, so you know, I didn't get confused and everything was exactly the same in application. You will see, looking at the Huda Beauty, that the shade here has faded, and that is what I was saying at the beginning of this video, that that is what I look for. Now with the Makeup Revolution one, to start off with, you can still see that colour there, and that's what I really like. I like, because it actually, and you can see it more with this eye, when, I mean, both eyes are exactly the same, but this one, if I don't put enough product here, as you can see with this one, you can see the hoodedness of my eye. And it, like I said at the beginning as well, it's not until you put 2 different shades, or 2 different brands, I should say, on each eye that you can really notice the difference. Also, I found, and I did notice it before, like I said, I've applied Huda Beauty 2 or 3 times, and I found that the blend of the eyeshadows is very, very difficult. When you're blending it, especially into the crease, I find that it's quite patchy, and the brush, even though obviously I love the Primark brush, I know how to achieve a look. I mean, I've achieved it here, but the brush just doesn't, it's quite stiff, the application, it doesn't blend very well. And also I've found, like I said, that it's patchy. It's not what I'm used to, and I love Makeup Revolution. I've always loved it. I mean, I spoke about it yesterday in my video, how much I've loved it, and I've been with them since the beginning. But with their eyeshadows, I had no problem this side whatsoever. The colour is still there, it's not faded. I mean, I put a lot of product on, but it's just not given me that blend. It's gone basically, and unfortunately it's disappointed me with the Huda. It's highlighted, and in fact I wanted that her famous, the first palette, I can't remember what it's called. Is it the Rose Gold palette? I know that I Heart Makeup brought out their Rose Gold version, and it always, you know, I've got that name stuck in my head, but actually it's highlighted the fact that actually I'm not going to be getting that palette, because although I've seen really good things about it, it's £56, and why pay that much money for, you know, product that, you know, it's not going to work for me, I don't think. So I'm really pleased actually, because I was on the verge of purchasing that palette today. Yeah, I was really, really excited about it, but now I've looked at these 2 eye looks, I don't think I will. The Makeup Revolution, I used exactly the same technique as you see in all of my tutorials. I always put the shadow there using the brush, blend it up, and that's what I've done with this, although you can't see it. So I'll go through what I did with the Huda, go through the Revolution palette, then I'll go through the swatches. So with the Huda, I actually used this one in the crease. So I used the darker, you can't see it now, but I used the darker shade in the transitional area, because there wasn't, and initially I would go in with this, but there wasn't one that matched within the Revolution palette. So I went straight in with this one, and then what I did was I then went in with this one, and you can see a little bit of that there. Then I went in on the lid with this colour here, and then I went into this colour here for the inner corner. I must say it took a lot of effort to get this, and I did notice this the other day when I wore this, because usually when you put a finger swatch on the lid, and you'll see with the on my arm as well, works perfectly, but with a brush around here I had to go back numerous times, 5 or 6 times, to get that pigmentation that you can see there. So I was overall disappointed with this palette, and it's just not, you know, how I like to wear my makeup. So moving on to the Makeup Revolution. Now I had to start off with the Iconic Fever palette, and I started off with this colour here in the crease, and I took that up and blended that in. This one, and you'll see from the swatches, is slightly brown toned compared to the Huda, but if the shades had worked, I mean, I suppose what I could do is, if I was going out now, I would probably put a little bit more of the Huda Beauty up there. But the shades are enough for me to think, you know, actually these are a very good match for the Huda Beauty. So I went in with that one first of all. And that worked really well, and then I moved on to the Newtrals 2 palette, and I started off with, which colour was it? It was this one here. So I started off with that one, and that worked really, really well. And then I went in with this colour here. I thought actually this was going to be too deep, but it matches and looks very, very similar to the other eye. And then this was the shade that I went in with on the inner corner. Now, whereas the Huda Beauty took, I don't know, 5, 6 goes with the brush, you know, dipping it into the product and applying it on the eye, because I always like to blend it into the lid shade first and then go all the way around the eye. So that took about 5 or 6 tries, and with the Makeup Revolution I found that the blend is a lot better. With the brush or finger, it doesn't matter, I can use either and still get the same finish, and it took me about 2 goes, you know, to match it into the eye look there and then round the eye. The eye overall look of the how I like to wear my makeup, how it applies, you know, the finish that I like to get from makeup is so much better with the Makeup Revolution palette. I mean, you can see it for yourself. I've done exactly the same thing, and it's just so much more vibrant on this eye, and yeah, I just like the overall finish with that, and paying £8 for those palettes rather than 25 is an absolute bargain. Now getting on to the swatches. So this is the Huda. That's obviously the deep shade, the first one that I went in with. This is Makeup Revolution, and I know that, you know, they're not, you know, spot on dupes, but dupes don't necessarily have to be exact. They just sometimes, and I've done it before with other looks, you know, they just give you that same look even though they're not spot on. So both of those worked very, very well, although the Huda Beauty, like I said, just, it's gone. It's totally gone. Then we've got Huda Beauty there, and we've got Makeup Revolution. Very, very similar, although, you know, when you look at them in the pan, they don't look that similar at all, but they swatch very, very similar, and that's why they look very similar on the eye. And then this is Huda Beauty, this is Makeup Revolution. And again, although I don't think that they're spot on, they give a very, very similar look. And in fact, the Makeup Revolution, I must say, the shimmers, they seem to be quite pressed really well, but they're not, you know, when you put your finger or your brush in, they don't tend to flake. And I must say that I've had to blow this a couple of times, blow off the excess product, because it's just every time you put a brush in or a finger in this product you literally, you know, swatch it or put it on your face, you're getting chunks of product fall out, and to be honest, that is disappointing for me with a £25 palette. And then the last 2 shades are, again, this is Huda Beauty, this is Makeup Revolution. And although Huda Beauty, that one swatches so well, you know, with a finger, with a brush, it was quite, you know, quite bad to not enable me to get this on the eye without doing it 5, 6, I mean, it could even have been more, but yeah, I was quite disappointed with that even. And then obviously that's Makeup Revolution. So I think on the whole, I mean, I love the look of the Huda Beauty, but, and I thought every time I used it, it was slightly difficult to get that blend correct. But like I said, it's not until I put Makeup Revolution on this side, Huda Beauty on this side, that it really has highlighted to me how, well, in my opinion, and from what I found today, Makeup Revolution's formula is definitely consistent. It just blends better for me, it works for me, it doesn't disappear. My eyeshadow with Makeup Revolution looks as good when I go to bed and when I remove my makeup just before I go to bed, as when I apply it. The only thing, and I've said this, I always have a little bit of the product missing there. It happens with every single eyeshadow because, you know, I've mentioned it before, my eyes are slightly hooded, but it's just so inexpensive. So I think I will not purchase that palette. I will save my £56 and I will purchase other items with it. It has disappointed me somewhat, I must say, today, and I can see it so clearly, even in my camera. It's disappointed me, the look that Huda palette has given me. So yeah, it is a disappointment. So if you were interested in the Huda Beauty, I hope that that's helped, given you, perhaps an alternative that you hadn't thought of, that may have given you, or may give you, it will give you, because I've done it today, that same look. So I hope that you found that helpful. I'll just give you a close-up of both eyes. So that's Makeup Revolution and that is Huda. So I'd love your feedback on that. I really would, actually. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, which one you think has worked better for me today. Have you got the Huda Beauty? Are you finding the same? Yeah, really love your feedback on that. And of course, if you have just stumbled across my channel, I would absolutely love it if you subscribed. Obviously my goal now is 10,000 subscribers. We are getting there slowly but surely, and I can't do that without you. So until tomorrow, thank you so much for watching, and of course your support as always. Thank you. Bye.